Welcome to Insight. In this special edition of the programme, we go back to a former broadcast of Insight from the year 1993, in which my dear friend and colleague Philip Scrotus will be interviewing the TV personality Chris Maycroft about his career in entertainment. And now over to Philip.
Hi there, it's Chris Maycroft. I'd always wanted to be in show business. When I was at school, I was always larking around. It did get me into trouble on a number of occasions, but it didn't deter me from wanting to be a star. I suppose it was my destiny. It took a few years, but I eventually made it into the big time.
Chris was born in 1920 in the town of Lye in what is now the West Midlands. He grew up here in Bengal Street. His father Albert was a tram driver, while Ada, his mother, used to take in washing. He left school at 15 and began working as an office boy in a foundry. So, when did you get started in show business?
When I was 17, I joined a local amateur dramatic society. I mean, at first, I used to do just the fetching and the carrying, but I'd watch the others, see how they acted, performed, how they delivered their lines. I was eventually given a minor role in a play. I forget what it was called now, but I know that I was very nervous and I made a right howler. I was supposed to call the leading lady a hippopotamus because she was large, and most of the time she was in the play, she spent it in the bath. It was all tastefully done, of course, but by mistake I called her a rhinoceros and it sort of ruined the joke.
The Second World War broke out when you were just 19.
That's right, yes.
How did that affect you?
Well, I didn't want to join in the fighting, but I still wanted to do my bit for my country. So I joined a fledgling company who would tour around entertaining the troops.
So, where did you go?
Well, it was mainly Catterick and Aldershot.
You eventually joined ENSA, ENSA.
Oh, they were great times, but scary. I was sent to France and then to Egypt.
It didn't go too well for you, did it?
No, in the first show I fell off the stage and I broke my arm. And then in Egypt I caught a dose of the runny tummy.
Then there was that famous incident with Dame Vera Lynn.
Oh, that! Yes, I was introduced to her just before the show. I was so nervous that I accidentally broke wind quite loudly. You media people never let me forget that.
The post-war years saw Chris have a variety of daytime jobs, while he tried his best to succeed with a local amateur dramatics company. He worked in a fish and chip shop, as a window cleaner, and even as a barrow boy selling fruit and veg for an uncle.
No, don't knock that. It gave me a good insight into people and their mannerisms. I used to make a note of these things and try to incorporate them into the characters I was playing on stage.
It was about this time that you met Keith.
That's right. He's a great guy. When I used to go down to the market early morning with my uncle to buy the day's fruit and veg, Keith was one of the porters. We struck up a friendship, which lasted to this day, even though he emigrated to Australia many years ago.
Yeah, me and Chris go back a long while. He was a puny little thing when I first met him. I mean, I used to have to help him load his van because he found the sacks of spuds too heavy to lift, you know. He told me his main job was as an actor, and he invited me to see him on the stage one night. He was good, and we've been friends ever since.
You got married in 1963 to a young woman named Anna. She was from the Philippines. How did you meet?
Oh, well, I was too busy to go through the courting process, and someone suggested I marry one of those girls. You know, mail order bride, if you like. It was all done through a dating agency, which specialised in these arrangements. I mean, there's no shame or stigma attached.
She left you just a week after obtaining her British passport.
No, I mean, yes. But there were cultural differences between us. That's why it never worked out, which was a shame, really.
Now, you never married again?
No, but I did have lots of chicks.
You decided to make a slight career change. In 1966, you joined a pirate radio station and hosted the Late Late Night Show.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it may have been the 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift, but we did attract quite a few listeners.
That didn't really work out for you either, did it? You were asked to leave after a month or so when you were accused of causing friction between the DJs.
No. It was just banter. I mean, they were great guys.
It was just afterwards there was the court case.
Yes, well, it was proved that those drugs were planted on me. I mean, no names, but Mike knows who he is.
Your big break came in the late 60s when you were given a minor role in a soap opera.
Yes, it was a good part. It had lots of potential, but evidently the writer didn't see it that way. I told him how my character could be developed into one of the starring roles.
You were suddenly written out after 12 episodes.
Yeah, I reckon that was out of spite.
You were then given the role of presenting a celebrity quiz show.
Oh, yes. Now, that was probably the best time of my life. Really enjoyable. The show actually ran for 2 series. We had many famous faces of the day appearing, and it was well received by the public. It's just a shame that all of the tapes of the shows have been wiped and there's nothing left to see.
You spent a few years in the doldrums with just the occasional role in local theatre.
Yes, but it gave me time to reassess my career and plan my future.
You then appeared in Story Place, narrating Tales from the Bush, featuring Zebby the Zebra.
Oh, yes, yeah, and here is a little guy, here is Zebby. Presenting the show was a real good laugh. I mean, the guys on the set were really great, really supportive. I'm a ghost, everyone. I mean, to some viewers, it may have looked like just reading children's stories, but those tales really resonated with people, especially the younger ones.
Your final big-time appearance came with the ill-fated Saturday Teatime Bonanza. What went wrong there?
Oh, nothing went wrong. You have to remember that we were live on air. If something did happen which wasn't supposed to, we couldn't go back and re-record it.
You didn't really get on with Derek, did you?
Oh, no, listen, Derek is a great guy. I know it looked as if I was angry with some of his little pranks, but those were all pre-staged. We'd laugh about it over a beer after the show.
Well, working with Chris was, shall we say, an experience. Yeah, it was experience. The problem being, he thought he was a lot better than he actually was. At times he could be quite nauseating. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. I had great fun winding him up, and so did the rest of the crew, to be honest. We had to have a brilliant. I could always tell when I'd really succeeded because straight after the show, he'd storm off in a right mood.
You have been out of the limelight for a number of years now.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I have taken the decision to step back and return to my roots, appearing live on stage. I'm with a number of various acting companies, and sometimes I do get quite challenging roles to play.
On a personal note, we asked your brother and sister to appear on the show, but they declined. It seems that you haven't spoken to either of them in a number of years.
Well, I think my sister was jealous of my fame, and my brother thinks there is a dispute over what happened to our late father's favourite clock. But no. I mean, they're really great guys.
You are currently living here in this one-bedroom flat in Luton. Are times hard?
No, not at all. I mean, I chose to live in this bijou apartment. I mean, it's just right for me. I'm in a lovely part of the country, and it's handy for London if I'm needed.
Will you ever go back to television?
Oh, yes, but it'd have to be the right part, something I'd be happy with. I mean, I'm not so desperate that I'd jump at the first thing that came my way.
Chris, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Chris Maycroft passed away late on the 31st of December 1999 when he suffered a heart attack while watching the millennial fireworks. He was just about to sign a contract to appear in a series of commercials for a well-known brand of fertiliser. Here on the Almighty Tick TV, over the next few weeks, we shall be showing excerpts of the Saturday Teatime Bonanza featuring the late Chris Maycroft.